In this video, I'm going to be talking about the last 5 overall picks in terms of their career, and then I'm going to be ranking the last 10 first overall picks in terms of their careers up to this point. Okay, so starting off with Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is a 6'9" small forward who was just drafted to the Dallas Mavericks this past year and has become their newest centerpiece into their rebuild after trading away Luka Doncic. Cooper Flagg was originally from Maine, where he spent a majority of his early career leading up to his freshman year, where he played for Nokomoi's Regional High School, where he had become the first ever freshman in Maine history to win Gatorade Player of the Year. He also has led his team to winning the state championship that very same year, before deciding to transfer back to to the powerhouse school of Montverde Academy in Florida. For those who may not be familiar with the school, Montverde is known as one of the best basketball schools in the nation, playing at the highest level of high school sports, with notable alumni such as Cade Cunningham and Ben Simmons, both of which will be talked about later in this episode. Through his career at Montverde, he was a dominant force, leading his team to multiple tournament wins before reclassifying to the 2024 class to be able to graduate early. In his senior year, he was named to the 2024 McDonald's All-American team and won a plethora of awards such as the Gatorade National Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball, and Naismith Player of the Year. He was named the top recruit of his class and committed to play for Duke University. From the start of his freshman year at Duke, he was playing at an incredible level, leading his entire team in points, rebounds, and assists. Duke finished in his freshman year with a record of 35-4, while being 19-1 in ACC play. At the start of March Madness, Duke was ranked first in the East, running through teams like Mount St. Mary's, Baylor, Arizona, and even Alabama before finally losing the Final Four to Houston, only by 2 points. In his single season at Duke, he was named both the ACC Player of the Year and ACC Rookie of the Year, becoming one of only 3 players to receive both awards in 1 year. He committed to the NBA draft after this and was selected in the first round by the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks only had a 1.8% chance of landing this pick. A few months before that draft, the Dallas Mavericks had this exciting, proven guard named Luka Doncic, who had been playing at an MVP level for years on that same team, yet the front office had their doubts surrounding him. Some thought that Luka's defense was too weak to justify his price tag, while others saw him as a non-factor when it came to winning. This led to the Mavericks making one of the most lopsided trades in NBA history. They traded away a 26-year-old Luka Doncic for an aging star in Anthony Davis and a young guard in Max Christie, and a first-round pick. Now, the big question with Anthony Davis is that he was older, in his 30s. He was injury-prone. He hadn't really stayed healthy in a few years. And it didn't make sense to abandon your young star just this quickly on into his career. So not surprisingly, the fans were outraged, causing people to leave the fandom and protest outside the stadium, calling for the firing of the GM. This led to expectations on Cooper Flagg's shoulders to be much heavier than most rookies have to deal with. I mean, he was living up to the hype of one of the best players in Mavericks history, arguably the second best. He had to prove to this team that he was not a mistake to trade away their number 1 option and to put the weight on his shoulders. That he could lead the team further than their old star and prove that that trade wasn't detrimental to the organization. So far, through 62 games of his rookie season, he had been averaging 20.4 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.6 assists as Dallas's number 1 scoring option. This season, he broke the record for the most points in a single game by a teenager with 49 points on January 29th against the Charlotte Hornets. With the first pick of the NBA draft in the 2024, we have Zachary Rees-Sachet. He was born in Malaga, Spain, and due to his father being a professional basketball player in Baloncesto Malaga from 2002 to 2006. His family moved to Lyon, France, where he started playing basketball at the age of 3. He joined the ASVEL basketball organization in 2020 before being invited to the senior team in 2021. He played in this organization from 2021 to 2024, where he would develop his skills and spend time learning around the game. He made his debut in the EuroLeague, where he would face competition at some of the highest levels outside of the NBA. In 2023, Zachary Risache signed his first professional contract with ASVEL, where he would then be loaned out to the team called JL Borg. He would lead the team to the finals of the Euro Cup, the secondary division to the EuroLeague, before losing to the team Paris Basketball. He was later named the top rising star of the Euro Cup and also won the award for Best Young Player of the 2023 to 2024 LNB Elite season, where he averaged 10.1 points per game and 3.8 rebounds in 22 minutes of action. He then declared for the NBA draft, being highly rated as one of the top prospects coming into this year. One slight issue was that this draft was considered one of the weakest years of prospects that the league has ever seen, with a plethora of teams having low grades on majority of the prospects. The Atlanta Hawks won the draft lottery with a 3% chance of winning. The top prospect, widely considered by a multitude of draft sites and analysts, was considered to be Alex Sarr, another French player. He was 7 foot, could defend with the best of them, yet when he was interviewed by the Hawks, he and his team expressed a heavy disinterest in playing for the organization, going as far as to denying a pre-draft workout with the team that had the number 1 overall pick. This led to Atlanta having a tough choice on either picking the best prospect available or going for a different, lower-rated player who could hopefully slot in and perform for the team. They decided to draft Zachary Risache with the pick 1, leading many analysts with a bad taste in their mouths. Many saw him as a prospect with a low ceiling, meaning he may peak early on into his career. He was compared to lifelong role players such as Harrison Barnes and Cameron Johnson. No hate to Cameron Johnson. Starting off his career with the Atlanta Hawks, he averaged a calm 12.6 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, and 1.2 assists through 75 games of his rookie career. His team would go on to make the play-in at a record of 40-42 before losing. This team was not hoping to start off their young first pick overall with a losing record and missing the playoffs, but saw a slight potential in his capability to defend and become a shooter. Going into his second season, hopes were high that he would take a leap. Through 61 games this season, he has not lived up to that first overall pick should be. He's averaging 2 less points and around the same number of rebounds and assists. At this current moment, he is seen as a liability due to his lack of progression, with his counterpart Alex Sarr doing super well for the Wizards. Fans are hoping that Risache can prove this idea wrong and improve from where he is now. The first pick of the 2023 NBA draft was Victor Wembanyama. There are few words to describe him as a prospect or player other than the word the anomaly. A player sculpted to play basketball at the highest level. Victor Wembanyama was born in Paris, France. His entire family had played basketball besides his father, who was a professional track athlete. Early on in his life, Wembanyama started off by playing soccer as a goalie and running track and field before growing too tall for both of the sports. He moved on to learning basketball through his mother, who was a coach. He would bounce around youth teams before catching the eye and being loaned out to FC Barcelona, where he would lead the team to third place in a U14 tournament. At this time, he stood above 6 feet tall. In 2019, he signed his first professional deal, landing a spot on Nantes 92, where he debuted in the Euro Cup at just 15 years old, making him the second youngest player to ever play in the Cup. In the 2021 to 2022 season, he signed with the ASVEL, where he would make his mark in the EuroLeague. Through the next year, he signed with the Metropolitans 92. By this time, Victor Wembanyama had already become a household name during the draft process, with echoes of him being the next big name. Within this season, he played 2 games against the G League Ignite, facing off against the second-ranked prospect at that time, Scoot Henderson, scoring 73 points and grabbing 15 rebounds between the 2 games. He was named an LNB All-Star and was a captain of the team, where he would dominate and win the MVP. By the end of the season, he won the LNB Pro A MVP, named the best defender, scorer, young player, and best blocker. By the end of the playoffs, his team was swept in the finals, although that can't take away from the historic run he went on, leading the Pro A in points, rebounds, and blocks. When NBA teams realized he was up for grabs, many teams started to lose on purpose to lower their records, with fan bases cheering "Tank for Wemby" across stadiums. Every team wanted a piece of the 7'6" star who could defend, rebound, shoot, play make at a level unseen at his size. He was given the nickname the Alien during this process due to his improbable stature. The San Antonio Spurs had won the draft lottery and almost immediately chose Victor Wembanyama. Right out the gate, he proved that hype surrounding him was not just mere glaze. But the truth is, in his first season, he averaged 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 3.6 blocks per game, leading the league in blocks as a rookie. This led to him being named the unanimous Rookie of the Year. The one issue surrounding this improbable rookie year was that the team's success had not followed this season. This allowed the Spurs to gain the fourth overall pick in that draft, where they chose Stephon Castle out of UConn. This proved a very wise decision, as the next year, Victor Wembanyama had found his duo to lead the leagues in the years to follow. Stephon Castle won the Rookie of the Year. Victor Wembanyama had the most blocks that season, despite only playing 46 games, and the record was rising slowly. The Spurs made a win-now move that season, trading away a few picks and salary fillers in return for the Sacramento Kings all-star guard De'Aaron Fox. This set up the Spurs for a hopeful 2025 to 2026 season, yet no one could have predicted how these moves would truly impact the team. Victor Wembanyama had hit his stride, turning into an MVP-level player, leading his team to over 57 wins in 75 games so far. He won the Defensive Player of the Year this year and was named All-NBA First Team with, I believe, third place in MVP voting. Paolo Banchero was the first overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. He was born in Seattle, Washington. Early on in his life, he spent his time playing both basketball and football, where he would continue this trend up until high school. He played for Odeya High School in Seattle, where he would spend his entire career playing as the starting small forward. He won the Most Valuable Player award in his sophomore year, leading to his high school to the state championships. In his junior year, he took a massive leap as a player, transforming into one of the top prospects in his class, where he would be named Washington's Gatorade Player of the Year, Max Preps National Junior of the Year, and was named a McDonald's All-American team. Coming out of high school, he was listed as a top 3 prospect in his class, falling just below Chet Holmgren, where Paolo Banchero committed to play for Duke, where he would spend his freshman year averaging 17.2 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists per game as an upcoming young player. He was in turn named the ACC Rookie of the Year and was named among the top prospects in the NBA draft, with most sources having him ranked 3rd during the process. There was a big question mark on who would be chosen first in this draft, with a multitude of mock drafts choosing back and forth between differing players. Near the end of the process, the consensus picked a player named Jabari Smith Jr., mocked first with Chet Holmgren second and Paolo Banchero being picked 3rd by the Houston Rockets. This, however, did not happen, as late into the draft process, Orlando announced that they had their sights set on Paolo Banchero. Questions arise, as many believed all 3 of these prospects could have been better than the other. Each of the 3 had their own fan bases begging their team to draft them, but Orlando stood strong. They drafted the 6'10" power forward, leading their team to a new era. From the start of his career in the NBA, Paolo was turning heads. He led Orlando in scoring his first year, averaging 20 points per game with almost 7 rebounds to back that up. He was voted Rookie of the Year, being 1 vote shy of winning the award unanimously, losing that vote out to Walker Kessler due to a Utah Jazz reporter voting for him, funnily enough. Orlando missed the playoffs that year, but had a cemented young core and a new star behind him. Hopes were riding high, and in just his second year in the league, Paolo proved he was one of the best players in the world. He made the All-Star team in the 2023 to 2024 season, leading his Magic to the NBA playoffs next to his teammate, Franz Wagner. Although they lost in their first year, the belief in Paolo's game had only kept increasing with each game he played. That was until the 2024 to 2025 season. Although he played great basketball, averaging almost 26 points per game over 7 rebounds, he had been injured for a good chunk of the year. With each game, Paolo's teammate Franz Wagner showed more and more potential, leading up to there being questions about who the team should rebuild around in the end. These questions are still around today. I mean, this debate between the players have not gotten any quieter and almost gotten louder as the seasons progress. The first overall pick in the 2021 draft was named Cade Cunningham. He was born in Arlington, Texas, where he would spend the majority of his early life. As a young kid, he would spend his time playing basketball with his family. His brother played in college, which helped Cade realize his love for the sport. Cade started off his high school career playing at Bowie High School, where he would help his team reach the finals in their division, winning the Newcomer of the Year award. In his sophomore year, he showed star potential through winning his district's MVP and getting all-region honors before deciding to transfer schools his junior year. He transferred to Mount Verde Academy. Although his averages went down, he was being shown at the biggest stage of high school basketball, and scouts were noticing his potential. He won his AAU's Most Valuable Player award in his senior year. He was joined by a plethora of other top recruits, including Scotty Barnes and Day'Ron Sharpe, who were both in his draft class. In the season, they gained a record of 25-0, dominating the highest level of high school sports. The Mount Verde team is widely considered one of the greatest high school teams ever assembled. After the season, he was rated as the top recruit in the college process and chose to commit to Oklahoma. In his freshman year, he averaged 20.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, while being named first-team All-American roster. He was also named the Big 12 Player of the Year and Big 12 Rookie of the Year. After committing to the draft, most teams had him as the first overall pick. He joined the Detroit Pistons as that pick, where he averaged 17.4 points, 5.6 assists, and 5.5 rebounds, being named to the All-Rookie First Team. He came in third place in the voting, falling just below his old high school teammates Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley. Although his hopes were high at the start of his sophomore year, where he was showing improvement, he sadly faced a season-ending injury that had sidelined him for a majority of that season. In his third season, his team had lost the most games in a row in NBA history, marking 27 straight losses. This had caused the public's view over the Pistons to sour, marking them as a laughingstock to the rest of the league. One player named Kyle Kuzma even tweeted out saying, "Don't be that team," in reference to losing to the Detroit Pistons. Things needed to change, so they changed head coaches, made off-season free agency moves, and hoped that the case would take a jump. This hope was answered, as the Detroit Pistons took a massive leap in wins, going from one of the bottom teams in the league, to 44 win team off the back of Cade Cunningham's first All-Star appearance, where he averaged 26 points per game and 9 assists as the best player for that Pistons team. In this season, he has already been an insanely good player, where he has led that Detroit Pistons to the first seed. And while they were eliminated in the second round, no one nowadays is doubting that the Detroit Pistons have potential to win a new championship. Anthony Edwards was the first pick of the 2020 draft. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia. Early on in his life, he spent his younger years playing a multitude of positions in football before choosing basketball due to it looking cooler to him. He found basketball by watching his older brother play the sport and becoming enamored with it. From day one, he was already seen as the top prospect, being named a 4-star recruit by his freshman year. He started his high school career out on Daniel McLaughlin Thurl High School before transferring to Holy Spirit Preparatory School and reclassifying from the 2019 draft to the 2020 class due to academics. He would help out his team in 2018 to win the Class AAA state championship in Georgia before reclassing back to 2019. This had caused him to be ranked number 1 in the 2019 recruit draft class. In his senior year, he was named to the McDonald's All-American team and invited to the Jordan Brand Classic, where he would showcase his talents. He in turn chose to commit to Georgia, opting to stay near home rather than signing to one of the bigger name schools that he was offered from. Anthony Edwards had become the high scorer for Georgia, winning SEC Freshman of the Year and being named to the SEC All-Second Team. Following his freshman year, he decided to opt into the draft, cementing his name as the number 1 overall draft pick prospect. He was drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves after they won the lottery. In his rookie year, it was delayed due to COVID, causing him to have a later start. He would average 19.3 points per game and would be ranked 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting, right below LaMelo Ball. Although they would miss playoffs in his rookie year, there were hopes. In his sophomore year, he took a slight jump, becoming a 20-point-per-game scorer as the team made and won in the play-in, allowing them to face off against the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. Although they lost their playoff appearance, this season showed that Ant and that team could win. In the 2022 to 2023 offseason, the Minnesota Timberwolves, following their playoff appearance, made a blockbuster trade, sending 4 players and 4 first-round picks over to the Utah Jazz in exchange for Rudy Gobert. At first, this trade seemed to do more harm than good, with their record staying around the same after the trade, while giving up so much in return. That was until the 2024 year, where the Minnesota Timberwolves took a massive leap, going to playoffs as the 5th seed and pushing into the second round. When looking back on Anthony Edwards' career up to this point, we see a lot of success. He has been an MVP candidate, I believe, 2 or 3 years running. He's been very, very solid when it comes to improving, where he now averages around 29 points per game, with close to 40% shooting from 3-ball. His weaknesses are no longer weaknesses. He's slowly becoming one of the best players in the league, and easily the best shooting guard. This season, he was 3rd in Clutch Player of the Year voting, and was an All-Star. He would have had more awards, if not for the fact that he missed the 65-game threshold.